When a Pawn Stars expert absolutely blows it, the auction results I will show you speak for themselves. Today we're looking at one of the worst losses I have come across so far in my research, thanks to some courtroom sketches, a possibly overconfident expert, and a gut feeling Rick should have listened to. A seller comes into the shop with something pretty unique, 35 original courtroom drawings from the infamous Sam Sheppard murder trial in 1954. These aren't prints, these are the real deal. They would have been used in distribution to newspapers and TV when talking about the trial. Sheppard's case was a media circus though, and he was definitely presumed guilty right from the start. It was so bad that the Supreme Court eventually overturned his conviction due to a biased jury and an unfair trial, a huge moment in U.S. legal history. Back to the deal. Rick looks through the sketches and sees they were all done by Burris Jenkins, a well-known cartoonist of the time. But Rick's not sure about the value. These are one of a kind, sure, but one of a kind doesn't always equal valuable. Left with questions, he calls in art expert Brett Maly. Brett says they'd probably appeal to collectors of cultural memorabilia. You know, something interesting to hang on the wall. But then, things get a little confusing, and Brett starts kind of contradicting himself. He acknowledges that Jenkins' name doesn't carry much collectible value. Instead, given the value of courtroom sketches in general, he believes these individual sketches could go for a few $100 each. And honestly, that seems reasonable to me, I suppose, especially if framed nicely. But then he throws out a value of $10,000 for the whole collection, as he believes the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. But wait a second, let's do the math. 35 sketches, let's say $200 each on the high end, that's $7,000. So why is Brett adding way more value just for the whole collection together? Honestly, I don't really know. He states that these would appeal to someone looking for something over their mantle, but no one is going to hang 35 courtroom sketches on their wall. And also, though famous at the time, did you know about this trial prior to seeing this episode? I didn't. I realize it has some historical significance with regards to the judicial process, but is that really that valuable to very many people? I think Brett was way overvaluing the cultural relevance of this collection. And additionally, how many people would really be out there that want the entire collection together? If you can't tell by now, this is not setting up to be a good deal for Rick. The seller wants $5,500. Rick offers $4,000. They eventually settle on a deal for $4,300. What's funny is that even during the negotiation, Rick is clearly hesitant. He is unsure what to do with them for resale, and he even says he didn't know they could be worth that much. That was his gut talking. He probably should have listened. So what happens at auction when Rick goes to resell them? He sells the whole set as is. No frames, no individual listings, no effort to break it up. Just boxes them up and sends them off to auction. And the result? $512. Not each, total. That's it. The whole collection sold for $512. That's a loss of $3,788. This is one of the biggest flops I've seen the shop take so far in my research for these videos. Now maybe, just maybe, if they were sold one by one or professionally framed, the shop could have gotten more, but that would have taken a lot of time and money. And would they have really recouped the $4,300 plus other fees spent? That's highly doubtful. Put plainly, this was a bust. And honestly, Brett really led Rick down the wrong path here. He got a little too excited over historical cultural value that just didn't translate into actual buyer value. And Rick paid the price. Literally. Are you surprised at how little these sketches went for at auction? Had you ever even heard of this trial before this episode? Let me know in the comments. And make sure to do your civic duty and like this video and subscribe to my channel. I promise you won't regret it. Thanks for watching.